Hi, this is Camille from My Junk Journal Heaven. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad to be here. I've been traveling for about 7.5 weeks, and I did make some videos during that time, but I also got sick and couldn't make any videos for the last week, so I'm glad to be here. I wanted to show you today some things that I made, and we're going to make one. I get this idea from Kathy's Garden. She had some really cute envelopes that she had purchased, I am assuming from Amazon because that's where I saw them, and she made tags to go in them and fold down over the top so they would pretty like this. And I thought that was such a good idea, but I didn't want to buy envelopes, and I had ordered this paper from Temu, which is called cooking paper. You can see it here, cooking paper. And it tears off, and I guess it's like, you put your cookies and so forth down on it. But I liked it because it's got writing on it. Let me show you a piece. Now, it's all about food, but still, it makes for an interesting piece of something to tear off in the back or whatever, or for background, or to use for ephemera. So that's what I made this envelope out of, and this was on a Mother's Day card that I got for Mother's Day from my sister, and just some other things from Temu. And I put a little bit of lace on it. Now Kathy's are much more beautiful. She's got pearls on them and lace at the bottom and so many beautiful things, and I don't work that way all the time, so that's the way mine looks. I do have lace down the side of the page, which I love. If you can see the sides of the pages, there's lace all around the book. I do like lace, but I didn't put it down at the bottom of the page. And here's another one. This one I made out of a magazine page, which you can kind of see here. Made the tag to go in it. I used some of that paper from Temu. This is also some stuff from Temu, and then some stickers. And this is also from a magazine. And I made that to go in this one. And this one I put on a book page. It's not particularly bad book page. Some of the books that I have picked up for $1.25, a couple of them were quite sexually explicit, so I definitely wanted to cover those. This one is not. But anyway, I need a lot of ephemera for my journals that I'm making, so I started doing these. Now, here's one that I made, and it's made from a book page. This is cardstock, lightweight cardstock, and I put some ephemera on it and things, and that'll go in a journal. This one, I didn't make the fold down tag, but I had a tag and it fit into this one. So, and this is made from packing paper that comes out of your packages from Amazon. You can use anything for these. This is also one made out of the packing paper. If you get packages from Amazon, they put more packing paper in them. Sometimes I get a little box that's about 2 by 3 inches, and comes in a great big box with packing paper shoved in it. So, and this is another one I made. I don't know if I'm going to use this tag in it, but it happened to fit. And I've got another one here. So I'm going to show you how to make them, and then we'll get to decorating. I want to show you that you can make things out of almost anything. You don't have to have special things to make your journals. Like, we can make an envelope out of this paper. I think I'm going to want to double it. So if you have notebook paper or something like that, you can make an envelope to go in your junk journal. And the first thing I'm going to do is put some glue on it and glue them together. And my glue seems a little gummy. I don't know why it's gummy, but it seems to be gummy. But I'm going to spread it on here, and then I'll cut the paper down to the size I want it. It's just easier to do it this way and then cut it down than it is to cut it down and then try and glue it together. I've got something all over my glue and other things all over my pad. All right, let's continue to glue this down. Excuse my fingers, I've got ink all over them. If I don't have ink from inking here, I have ink because I use fountain pens to write in my journals, and frequently, ooh, they're sticky all over this. Good heavens. Frequently end up with ink when I have to refill them. I picked up some stuff on there. All right. Now I'm going to even this out a little bit here, and then we'll see how we want it. Now I'm just going to eyeball it. Actually, let me turn this over so I've got inches on the other side. Makes it a little bit easier for me. I can't think in centimeters. All right, let's see here. I think I'm going to want this about 4 inches across. So I'm going to put it on a line here and fold it about 4 inches. It's just eyeballing. It's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. No reason for it to be perfect. These are junk journals. They're not perfect. And I'm going to fold this over here like this and burnish that also. All right. Now I'm going to get my art glitter glue and glue it along the bottom here. And across this bottom. Then I'm going to put a bead of glue down here. I'm going to cut some of this off. I can tell already it's too tall. But I'll glue it anyway. Now you might be saying, how is this going to turn out with notebook paper? But we're going to cover it with stuff. I'm going to embellish it and decorate it. It'll be fine. And this bottom piece I want to fold up. And so I'm going to fold it up about 1/2 inch, and I'm going to crease it here. If you don't have a board for this, you can just do it like I'm doing with a ruler and a and this has gotten quite thick down here. Because the glue hasn't dried totally, it's not behaving real well. That's okay. I'm going to clip the corners here so that they don't stick out and cause trouble. Make it look funny. And then I'm going to glue this down. Oh, that didn't glue very good there. Doesn't matter because it'll be at the back of the... It'll be at the back anyway, but... And it'll probably be glued down to my page. Okay. Hope everybody's fine. I'm so happy to be home from traveling. I cannot tell you, I haven't been away this long, for years. My husband and I, when we first moved out here, we traveled back to California and we're gone for about 8 weeks, but he passed away 2 years ago and I haven't been anywhere this long. And it's been a long trip. I loved it. I loved visiting with my family. I loved the adventures we had together, but I'm glad to be home. There's no place like home. In your own house, in your own place to live. Now I'm going to put a little thumb notch in the top of this. I wish I had a little bit bigger circle punch, but I don't. And I keep looking at the price of them and thinking, I may get one eventually, but I don't have it right now. Okay. Now, we need to do something to this because that is a plain little bag, but it is a bag. It opens. So let me see what I want to do with it. I have all kinds of things. I have some packing paper that's like tissue paper that I could put on it. I have some of this brown packing paper. I got a little bit smaller piece of that I can use. I have some of the paper from Temu. I could use a piece of that on there. So let's see what we want to do. I think I'll tear a piece off here. Maybe put that down like that. What else do I want to do with it? Now that is just about 4.5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So that's going to fit almost all the way across my page because they're about 5.5 inches. That's okay. I just want to make sure I don't get too carried away here. See about some of this. And maybe some book page. I have some book page over here that I can use. I don't know if I want to use all that or not. All right, let's first see what tag I'm going to put in there. What kind of tag? And I have one cut. Oh, it's going to be too small. Okay. Let me see here. I think this one's probably too small also. Ooh, no, it's not. All right, that works. Trim that off right about there. All right, we have that. So while the first 2 weeks I was gone 7.5 weeks. The first 2 weeks I was gone, I spent at my daughter's house in Henderson, Nevada, which is real close to Las Vegas. We don't particularly go into Las Vegas. They're redoing the downtown roads and everything anyway, and it's a disaster. But we don't particularly go down there anyway. Don't gamble, so My son-in-law's a pediatrician, and he goes to work and comes home, and sometimes my daughter fixes dinner and sometimes we go out to dinner, so it just depends what we're doing, what goes on. Well, that's definitely not straight. I wonder if I can straighten that out without making it look too bad. Oh, come on. One night, my daughter made biscuits and gravy, and I'm not a big fan of biscuits and gravy, I have to say. I just have never been, but she made, basically they were scones, so they were semi-sweet anyway. And the gravy she made over them was the best stuff ever. Very creamy and nice, and she made a great big batch of it. And then the next day she took it in to my son-in-law's office for all his employees to have some for their morning break. And that was good stuff. I could eat that again. Like I said, I'm not really a big fan of biscuits and gravy, but that was good. And they have a second house in Prescott, Arizona, so we went there. And we went to what they used to call a ghost town. It's an old mining town called Jerome. It's up in the mountains outside of Sedona, Arizona. And we went up there and went around and had some lunch there at a really nice place. Walked around and saw things. When I was a little kid, my dad drove a truck up there. I don't know what he was delivering or taking away. It was a copper mine, I think. And I mean, I was like, maybe not a baby, but I was little, under 2 years old anyway, because he joined the Air Force when I was 2. And he would drive the truck, and my mom and I would go with him. I kind of remember some of it, but not a lot. But it's interesting to go up there and see the old Victorian houses and the different things. And of course, they've made it into a tourist town now. They sell a lot of copper. That's the main thing they were mining, was copper. I don't know if there's any mines still working or not. I don't think there are, but there could be. There could be some that are still going. A lot of the stores have copper jewelry and copper things that they sell, of course, for the tourists, for those of us who are tourists and want to go in and spend our money on it, which I did. I bought some earrings and a bracelet, copper earrings and a bracelet, kind of thinking nostalgic of being there when I was a little kid. I'm sure it didn't look like that when I was little. And it's a long, windy road to get there, I can tell you that. To get up there into those mountains. But anyway, it's pretty up there. It's very pretty. Forests, and you can see a lot of the red rocks off in the distance. I'm going to crumple that up a little bit and then go over it a little bit so it looks a little grungy here. So then I was there for 2 weeks, and then I flew over to San Jose to be with my sister and brother-in-law. And I was over there for, let me see, I want to tear this off, sorry. I was over there for a month, and my brother-in-law took time off work, took some of his vacation, and we went to the Monterey Aquarium that I had never been to, even though I lived in California for many, many years. I don't know why I had never been there, but I hadn't. So we went there, and then we went to Santa Cruz to the boardwalk. I'd never been there either. And my sister and I rode on the roller coaster that's the wooden roller coaster that's 100 years old this year. And we enjoyed looking at the beach, and it was a beautiful day. It wasn't too cold and it wasn't too hot, and they'd been having quite cool weather, so it was beautiful that day. Absolutely gorgeous. So we picked a good day to go to Santa Cruz. They thought that it was going to be colder than it was, and it was sunny and just nice. It wasn't hot and it wasn't cold. It was a perfect day. Of course, I'm sure the water would have been cold if we'd have wanted to go swimming, because the Pacific usually is if you're anywhere north at all. Okay, now I need to decide something else to put on here. I don't know if I want book page or not. Let's see what else I can find. I have some things here. Maybe a piece of this, or the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that or not. Let me see here. I have tickets. I could put a ticket on there. One of my big tickets. Ooh. Interesting. The Super Chief, the Grand Canyon. Fast daily train to Chicago. When I went back to my daughter's, after being in the San Jose area for a month, we went to the Grand Canyon and rode on the Grand Canyon train. You go to Williams, a town in Arizona, and ride the train. That was really fun. Also, while I was at my sister's, we rode a train up into the redwoods. I can't think of what it was called, but anyway, it's a little steam engine, and it goes up into the redwoods, and it's open cars. I don't remember how many cars there were, 4 or 5 open cars, and so you can see the trees around you and all the different things. That was really, really fun. The one to the Grand Canyon was different because it was actually a train. The engine was probably from the 50s. And in the 50s, my family lived in Florida, and my dad was in the military and didn't have a whole lot of, my family didn't have much money, and so he would get a 30-day leave, and so my mom and I they would close out their apartment, store all their stuff with somebody, and we would go on the train to Utah, my mom and I, and then my dad would come later. He'd hitchhike. I know, hitchhiking's dangerous, but you know, back in the 50s, it was done. And he would hitchhike up there and then spend 30 days up there visiting, and then we'd go home. And I don't know if he hitchhiked home or if he rode the train home, but we rode the train. I do know that. And I kind of like those ladies sitting on there. I think I'll do that. Unless I find something else I'd like. Anyway, I've always loved trains. Always. And my daughter didn't know that. My sister did, but my daughter didn't. And so she made arrangements for us to ride the train into the Grand Canyon. Well, how come nobody fits but these girls? They're the only ones that fit on there. The rest of them, their heads get covered up. I guess it's meant to be. Anyway, so we rode the train up into the Grand Canyon, and we were in the we were in the last car when we went, and we had, it was kind of it's a fancier car. It's like a first class type thing. And so they had a bar, and they had snacks and fruits and morning things set out, because it was, I think the train left at 9:30 in the morning from Williams, Arizona. And so we got on the train, and there was a marshal that came around and talked to people, and then there was a guy that came around and sang with his guitar, had a beautiful voice, and sang some of the old songs like Gene Autry sang and things like that. Really got everybody involved in the songs as he was singing them. He was a good entertainer. I'm going to cut this off a little bit so that it doesn't cover up these ladies' heads. Then we got up to the Grand Canyon and went on a bus tour. It would have probably been better if we could have driven around up there, because then we could have gone to where we wanted to, where the bus tour just went where it went. But we got to see a lot of the Grand Canyon, and it's really interesting. It is so huge. So huge. Amazing how it was formed and how it's there. It's just mind-blowing. But anyway, so then we had a lunch, and then we had a little while that we could do what we wanted in the village there. So we looked around a little bit. Not a lot on my part, because we're now at 7,000 feet up in the air, and I'm not used to being that high, and was having some trouble getting enough oxygen. I didn't have terrible trouble, but I could tell that it was hard. I'd walk a little ways, and I'd have to stop and huff and puff for a while. So I don't know where the pin for my glue went. Well, but anyway, it was really nice. And we went back down. We couldn't be in the same place because she'd made the reservation the day before. So we were in the, I don't know what they call it, the Skyliner or something. So you're sitting where you can see the observation car, I guess, is what it would normally be called. So we were up in that, and it also had a bar and had snacks. It had like veggies and dip and fruits and stuff like that. And then there were some desserts, sodas if you wanted them, things like that. It was nice. And they told us there was going to be an event happened at 5 o'clock, and not to be startled by anything. So word got around that it was going to be a train robbery, and that if you gave them $1, they'd leave you alone. So sure enough, at 5 o'clock, here alongside the train comes 3 cowboys on horses, riding like crazy, waving guns. They said, it's nothing to worry about if the train doesn't stop. Well, of course the train stopped, Of course it stopped. That's part of the deal. So the train stops, and the cowboys, the bank robbers got on. They supposedly were escaped from prison, and they got on, and they came around and picked up their dollars, and not long after they came through, then the marshal came through. I keep wanting to call him a sheriff, and he said, I am not the sheriff, I am the marshal. Anyway, he came through and following them and asked which direction they'd gone, which, that's kind of silly. There's only one direction. But anyway, it was fun. It was a fun trip. And it was a fun day and we had a good time. And then on the way back to Prescott, we stopped at a Mexican restaurant that they really like. They had pretty good food. And we got back to Prescott and we were all worn out. Everybody went to bed early. And that was fun. And then we went back to Henderson and we were there about a week, not quite a week, and I came home. And I was ready to come home, I can tell you that. It was nice to go, and it was fun, and it was very enjoyable, but home is best. I don't care. Home is best. I can't find a flower I like to go next to these ladies, and I need a flower there. They either don't look right or they're the wrong colors. Well, maybe that one. Maybe that one. Oh, I like it over there better. But then this side's kind of plain. Well, let's see. So the flight home got delayed. Or no, it didn't either. The flight going from California to Nevada got delayed 3 times. That was ridiculous, and it's only a 45-minute or 50-minute flight. It got delayed 3 times, but when it finally got off the ground, it was on a bigger plane than it should have been. So practically everybody on it had their own row, which was nice, because my little doggy has to go in a carrier in the seat, under the seat in front of me, and it's really nice if I can put her under a seat next to me instead of in front of me, so that I have leg room, because I'm not a short person. And it's always nice to have leg room, even though it's a short flight. Nope. So those are my adventures. And I'm glad they're done. I might be ready to go again next year. We'll see. Everybody's talking about me going next year, and I'm thinking, okay, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know yet. I haven't been home long enough to make up my mind yet. Oops. I see that. It's got a little butterfly and some flowers, and I don't know which way it goes. Well, we're going to put it this way. Now I need to do something on the top here. And I'm thinking I might want to put some of this paper up here. So I'm going to use my glue stick and cover that top area and put the paper up there, and then we'll decorate on top of that. Aha, there's my pin. I don't know how it got over there, but it did. It got over there. All right. Has anybody else been having adventures so far this summer? I came home and my daughter-in-law picked me up, and she had one of her daughters with her who's next year going to be a senior in high school. And I said, oh, did you skip school? And she goes, Grandma, it's summer vacation. Oh, I totally missed out on that because nobody I was visiting had kids in school. I said, okay. I guess that's not a problem then. She's a good student. She wants to be a nurse, and she's a very good student, and she's probably going to get a full ride scholarship to wherever she goes. If she doesn't, I'd be very surprised because she's good and she's taking pre-nursing classes. They have some kind of program where they can go during the day for so many hours to a technical school and learn nursing things. And she's been doing that for the last 2 years. Very smart young lady. Very smart. Trim this off a little bit better right there. Okay. Now, I think I'm just going to glue this down. I don't think I want to be bothered trying to trim it because it's just going to be a mess if I do. And I know it's not even back there, but... And actually, it probably should be even because of it being a tag at the back of it might get used. So I'll cut it, go ahead and cut it off even if I can. Or as even as I can get it. Get my scissors all sticky with glue. Yeah, that's a little better. That won't be so oddball back there. Okay. Okay. Now. Oh, and that is so crooked on there. Holy moly. Oh well, it's a good thing I'm going to cover most of it up. Look how crooked that is. Didn't mean to do that. All right, let's get the bag back over here so I can see what it's going to look like in it. All right, it definitely needs lace across there. And I think I'll put some white, maybe. Well, the only white is that down there, so maybe I don't want white. Maybe I want my beige. I fall back to the beige. Yeah, I think that's better. Unfortunately, I do believe that's a little better. And maybe before I glue that on, I ought to figure out what I want up there to cover up my uneven stuff. And I think I'll go to my normal go-to, a butterfly. Oh, that one's going to be way too big. Way too big. Well, that guy'd be okay, but he's going to lose a wing if I put him on there. Let's see what we can get here. We have a red flower. I'm not real thrilled with that. It's not quite red. Okay, right here I happen to have a little orange one. If I can pick it up. Oh, Come on. Well, that wouldn't be bad, but I need a lot more on there than that. That one just kind of washes out. Looks like I need red butterflies. Okay, I like that one better. Not a lot, but better. And maybe a stamp. Let's see, I have a red one. Oh, that's huge though. Yeah, that's too big. Too big, too big. There's one with a red bird on it. Do I want that in a butterfly too? Maybe if I put something else. Well, we've got all these black and white ladies, so maybe a black and white stamp with ladies on it. I think I'll go for that, but I still need something else besides the lace, I think. Let's see. Actually, maybe that'll be enough. All right. Let's see what we have here. I'm going to glue this down first. Oh, and I didn't ink it. I need somebody to sit here and remind me to ink. All right, and let's get this little thing off of here. First try. Wow. Okay, we're going to put the lace across here. And I'll trim it up in a minute. Now with that up, this looks a little bare here. I need something. I need something up here. And I think I'll go for my usual thing. I'm going to go for a butterfly or a flower. Let's go for a butterfly. Where did I put my butterflies? they are. I hate to leave it bare up there. Because that's really bare. Don't like that either. Too much glitter on it. And we have the same problem with the red flower, and oh look, that one will work. It's got some red in it, which leaves it less bare up there at the top. Well, the last one came up on the first try. This one, it's taking a few more. And I need to ink up here very much, especially across this paper that I didn't cover with anything. And I'll see if I can punch this little hole again. I don't know. Sometimes with these thinner papers, this just doesn't work. Nope. Oh, it did. Wow. Wow, it worked. All right. I'm going to trim the lace off here. Okay. Now there you go. There's an envelope pocket made out of notebook paper. And glue it in your journal. You can glue it on 3 sides. Have a tuck on the top, have a tuck on the side, either side, whatever you want to do with it. You can make these out of anything. Don't think that you can't make a junk journal because you don't have printouts or digitals or whatever, because you can. You can make it out of all kinds of different things. Packing paper. If you have stamps, you can stamp on the packing paper. You can stamp on different things, make it look good. You can always use anything you have in your house to make your digital, or to make your ephemera. So this is Camille from my Junk Journal Heaven. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and let me know if you have any suggestions or if you have any questions. Thank you for coming. Bye for now.